Welcome to another Sunday Live with Mr.BetonYou. I hope you're doing great. I'm doing well. I have some updated DoorDash topics that hit some markets this week. I had several emails of you guys sending me things asking for my take on it. So I want to break down some of these things. I want to show them to you. I have some opinions on them. Some of this isn't going to be new for some of y'all, but new for some, like for others, right? We know DoorDash likes to slow roll certain things out. They like to beta test market, whatever you want to call it. They do that within certain markets and see what works for them, what works for the customer, what works for you, maybe. One of the things I'm going to share with you, I've had a hard time reading it. I know DoorDash has a lot of smart people that work, highly intelligent, people that went to college and got degrees, and they write up these things for them that they send us in emails, and they write up the things that they send out to news report outlets and things. I need you guys to help me make sense of it because I have read it about 20 times. I'm going to show you guys, okay? I'm going to show you a little, this is a sneak peek, earn per offer mode updates. I cannot wrap my brain around it. We'll get into that in a minute, okay? I'm reading this update and what they sent out, and I'm like, what? It doesn't make any sense. We're also going to get into the streak bonuses. I know the last few weeks there's been several markets that have had these streak bonuses. I want to see if there's anybody in the chat that has had a good experience with it, maybe bad experience. I don't have them. I cannot speak of them one way or the other, but you guys can, because I know that DoorDash is telling us about the streak bonuses. They've also updated in other markets. You know how for me, if I keep above 70% for a while there, I was able to dash now. In some markets now it's 50%. You have the dash now feature if you're above 50%, and that could be a game changer for a lot of people. But the biggest one is the update of pay. And I've talked about this before, but it's going in more markets. More of you guys are seeing it, so it's going to impact us more. And I'm going to roll it into what Instacart did a couple of months back, lowering the pay. I'm going to roll it into what Uber has been doing. Many people are reporting, and I'm seeing things. Uber-based pay, less than $1 on some orders. $1.50. Add to routes, $1.44. I mean, I know I like to bring solutions. I like to talk about how, at the end of the day, we can still do okay. We can still do okay. But I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant tonight about these gig companies. But I'm also going to tell you why they have the power and feel enabled to do this. The gig companies, in some ways, are very similar to a customer that doesn't feel like they need to tip you and feels entitled to getting their fucking McDonald's delivered to their door. DoorDash is no different in some regards. They feel entitled that you are going to work and go to two merchants for $2. Instacart feels entitled the same way a customer does, that you are going to shop 100 items for $5, $6, $7. Uber feels entitled as a company, and so does the Uber Eats customer, that you're going to go to Taco Bell for $1.50. It is ridiculous. We're going to get into that tonight. Let's see what we have in the chat. And can you guys tell the lighting is a little darker, a little different? Let me know what you think about it. Okay, so let's see. We got Chris Boy. What's up? What's up? What's up? Daz Ladorn, Leo SG61, Bud Soda, Juan, God's Pirate. Always good to see you. No diggity, no giggity, no clout. Desmond Brooks. I see Raised On, Scrabble, April Bean, Chevy Speed, Gemma 13, Lisa Lamb, Eric Parrish, good vibes all day long, Trill, MVR. I see Eric Money Star, Brian, Kevin, my man. What's up? What's up? What's up? Let me know you're in the house. I'll give you a shout out. Adam, Will G, Dashing Across America. What's up, brother? Hope you had a good week. Big A's, Diecast. Always good to see you. Trill, Edith Santiago. Always good. Qualia. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Dame Dollar. Rideshare Rodeo Rick, my brother. What's up? Cowboy Courier, always a pleasure. Gig Wars Official Red. What's up? What's up? Terry Ross. I see Matt Dog. I think I got Big Carl in the house. Marty, my mans. What's up? What's up? Okay, I think I got everybody's name. Scott M. Racing Scrabble. Okay. So appreciate all of you guys. Listen, hit the thumbs up for you, boy. Let's get this show cracking. Michael, I see you. Sam Lee, I see you. Jessica, Brandon Diaz. What's up? What's up? D. Bentley, T. Stone, Samuel Dotson, Jocelyn Williams. Represent where you guys are at in your markets. Let me know in the comments right now. I'll give you a shout out. KC, Michael, the Love Hands, Quincy Jackson. I think I got Brian N. Ramos 4. What's up? What's up? He says, hey, Pedro, delivering with Ellen. Always a pleasure. Little Pope. What up? What up? What up? Casper. All right. So I got Michigan in the house, Toledo, Ohio, Myrtle Beach, Columbia, Maryland, Nashville in the house, New Jersey. I got Nebraska, Kentucky, Jonesboro, Boston, Massachusetts, Charlotte, South Wales, Georgia, Columbia, Maryland, Akron, Ohio. I'll be in Cleveland in about 3 weeks. If you know, you know. GG in New Jersey, Detroit, watching from Rome, Georgia, Racine, Wisconsin, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities. Is that right? Colorado Springs in the house, North Carolina, Louisiana, Australia, representing from over the pond, Chris Boyd. All right, I appreciate it. Delaware, we are well represented. All right, let me get into the show. I'm hype. Hit that thumbs up for you, boy. Now, tonight's show, I don't know how long we'll go tonight. I want to be very impactful, tactful, condensed, knowledgeable, and entertaining. We will not have a super long show, okay? So buckle up and enjoy the ride. As far as the StreamYard links go, I can share it, but I want to bring on somebody that's never been on the show. So if you've never been on the show, wanted to be a part of it, have an opinion about these topics, this is the show for you. Let's begin. Let me pull this up, and I'm going to read it for you guys. Okay, let's minimize myself. Okay, earn per offer mode updates. I'm going to read this to you. Now, for some of you, this is not new news, but every once in a while, we have to talk about what DoorDash is doing, why they're doing it, so that we can have knowledge, information, a basis of where to go, and then we can decide what we want to do with the apps and all that kind of stuff. Now, before I read this to you guys, because I struggled reading this, I didn't understand it. We have to understand one thing. We are very replaceable. More people come to these apps, new drivers at a record pace just about every day, every month in any market, okay? Old drivers drop off, new drivers come in. If you're a new driver, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know that base pay used to be this. You don't know that on a stack you got $2 per order, not $2 for everything, for both orders. 2 different restaurants by their example. Okay. Now, if there's a tip on there and it's whatever, maybe it's not a big deal. But this is a little crazy to me. And let me read this to you guys. Okay. I don't understand this. Let me just vibe with me for a second. Close your eyes and pay attention. This is from actually somebody that sent this to me. Her name was Amanda. So I want to give a shout out where credit is due. And thank you, Amanda, for sending me this. Now, I knew this was happening. Okay. And I haven't experienced it yet in St. Louis. Now, if I get a stack, I'm getting 2 per order, but I haven't seen $2 for 2 separate orders, but I'm sure it's coming. Now, listen, earn per offer mode updates. Okay. Best for dashers who value more flexibility. What the fuck does that mean? Best for dashers who value more flexibility. Why use that word flexibility with this scenario? It makes no logical sense, but maybe I'm wrong. Let me read this to you. The scenario they give, if you can see this screen here, I know it's really small, but I'm going to break it down for you. 2 deliveries completed. This is a completed delivery. Somebody accepted it. Okay. They're on earn per offer. The base pay for 2 was $2. So instead of them paying you $2.25 per delivery, now it's $1 per delivery on a stack. Crazy. Okay, crazy. They went to Chipotle and Taco Bell. Not even the same merchant. Now they could be in the same parking lot. Whatever, maybe not the biggest deal. But you're going to 2 places. So as a driver, we know you run into 2 different possible waiting scenarios. 2 different possible times you got to come in and out of your car. It's more time, and time is money. Now, vibe with me here. $2 base pay. Chipotle, first customer tip $4, other customer tip $2, whatever. It is what it is. Those could be good tips. They could be bad. Depends on a lot of different factors. They got paid $8 to do 2 deliveries. That is bullshit. That is horse shit. That is nasty. I never recommend doing orders like these. Now, this would be $10, and it should be at least $10. which to some of you, 10 and 8, kind of a difference, right? Some of you will take a stack if it's 10. You're not taking a stack at 8. DoorDash is saving $2 every time they do this. Let's read what it says. Get paid for the total offer instead of per delivery. So the total offer, the pay is $2. You're not getting paid. You're not getting paid per delivery. That's the black and white of it. They're not paying you per delivery. They're paying you per offer. Their way they're saving money. You will continue to get offers which can include single or multiple orders, which is fine. I like stacks. Nothing wrong with them. 2 or more. You can even see 3, 4. We've seen this at Redco, St. Louis Panera Company, Bread Company. They'll send you 3, 4 offers. But these will now have a total offer base pay starting at 2. Now, it could be more. If there's peak pay, obviously you'll get more than that. Or if it's longer mileage, you might get more. But it's starting at 2, right? You used to start at 4 on stacks. This could mean, for example, that an offer with 2 orders could have a total base pay of $2. Let me read that one more time. This could mean, for example, that an offer with 2 orders could have a total base pay of $2, plus any tips or promotions on top. Promotions meaning peak pay, maybe a streak. We'll get into that. Okay. This could have a total base pay of $2. DoorDash is expecting, follow with me now, expecting and thinking it's okay. And some of you guys are doing these orders and you should be ashamed of yourself. I know you might not like me to say that, but that's the reality. I'm going to be bold tonight. I'm going to say things that might offend, but I am very passionate this evening about this. $2 for 2 pickups and 2 drop-offs. DoorDash is valuing you as a driver at $2. Uber is valuing you at some of these offers I've seen at $1, $1.40. Instacart is valuing you right now. They dropped their base pay from $7 to $4 and change to shop, to find it, shop it, scan it, bag it, tag it, put it in your trunk, take it out of your car, drive, take it out of your car, take it to somebody's apartment, take it to somebody's home. That is crazy to me. But the reason they can do it is because the OGs are leaving these apps. They're doing catering apps. They're doing this. They've stopped doing DoorDash altogether. They got what they needed out of it. They know a new influx of drivers are coming in. Holiday season, people want extra money. They want extra holiday money. They got all these things going on. They're taking advantage. For an app to give us, let me get my big old head back on the screen. $2 to do 2 pickups and 2 drops off is ridiculous. All the apps are guilty of it. All apps, catering apps, it could be a last minute mile apps. They're all doing the same thing. Walmart Spark, all of them. Now they might not all have $2 base pay, but they're all the pay that the company's giving you, which they get from the consumer, is going to continue to go down. And as long as we hit accept versus decline, we're giving them the okay. We're signing off that this is okay. Decline these orders. Make it more beneficial for the next driver when it hits their screen. And if somebody declines it, maybe you're the next driver that it's more beneficial for. We cannot be taking these $2 base pays. Can you imagine? And I'm not sure, I don't have the information. Can you imagine for a second? There's no tip on either of these. Does that offer really fucking come in at $2 for 2 different places? Or does DoorDash make it more because the algorithm knows there's not a tip? I have no idea. I doubt. I think some of you guys are seeing $2 for 2 different orders. That to me is laughable. Now, there's ways around it. And not all orders are going to be trash. Okay. But this is crazy. I mean, $2 to go to 2 different places. And this is not just about DoorDash. Every app is doing it. I don't care. I'll debate anybody under the moon. Even the greatest app that right now, maybe it's a brand new app, they are going to lower your base pay. Many content creators have been saying it. It's the way, unfortunately, of the world. It's supply and demand. There's so many drivers that want to be on these apps. New people that I know signed up this week. And they're not gonna know the difference. They're just gonna say, oh, I'll do $8 for 4 miles, 2 different places. That's fine. It might take me 40 minutes. I'll make $8. They don't know any different. And it's not their fault necessarily. Shame on DoorDash, man. Listen, I call it how I see it. When they do something good, I'm going to say it. If they continue to do these kind of things, shame on you. You guys should be ashamed as a company in 2023 with gas on the rise, back up and continuing to go up. Holiday season coming. You know people are trying to just make money. Inclement weather. It's going to get cold and nasty. Yeah, maybe there's a peak pay on those days. Maybe there isn't. For you to send a driver a $2 base pay when you're getting 15 to 30% of the sales ticket, you're getting the delivery fee, a service fee, a regulatory fee from the consumer, and you're going to fucking send me a $2 order? Shame on you, DoorDash. I will be attributing to you. Listen, maybe y'all like this, Pedro. This is how I used to talk. But when I see stuff like this and it's impacting drivers, it's like, damn, that's fucked up. It's fucked up. Because all I'm trying to do here and all I've been trying to do is show you guys different ways to make money. Let's not complain. Let's take back the power. We can do that. But when they continue to just punch you in the mouth and say, here's $2 to go to Taco Bell and Chipotle, that's fucked up. It just is. There's no other way around it. When Instacart and Uber, all the apps do it. Name an app, insert app here. They're all doing it or going to do it. It's crazy to me. And then when you couple an entitled company with an entitled consumer, like, I'm not paying, I don't know what service I'm getting yet. Maybe that's why some of you guys answered in my poll. 70% of you are making average to bad money since September of this year. 70%. 7 out of 10 are either just doing okay or doing bad. That's not okay. It's not good. What do? I don't know. I don't have the answers. I don't have all the answers. I know what I can do. I know I'm going to continue to adapt. I'm going to continue to accept what's good, decline what's bad. But there are so many new dashers on here. You guys tell me oversaturation is an issue. I can't get on a dash now. I can't do this. There's so many new red bags out there. DoorDash knows this. They're taking advantage of it. As a business person, I don't necessarily blame them, but I can say shame on you. It's bad, man. It's bad. It's horrific. $2 to go to 2 different places. It just and then the consumer, man, we have entitled consumers, entitled companies, and ignorant drivers. And ignorant isn't a negative word. Ignorant is not having knowledge. You're not knowledgeable about something. And when you mix those 3 together, we got people out here working for peanuts. And it makes me just like, ugh. We got Instacart shoppers out here, $7, $8 shopping 50, 60 items. It takes them an hour. They're making $7. We know what's happening. We also know these companies are preying on people that English is a second language. They are. It's the truth. I've talked about that as well. And I have mixed feelings and mixed emotions about it. Because these people are getting opportunities, but man, these apps are taking advantage, man. $2 now. I've been saying, eventually I said base pay was going to go to $1. Do you guys remember me saying that? The day is here. It's here right now. In your market, maybe it's coming, maybe next week, maybe it'll be in mine. $1 base pay is here. $1 and change has been here on Uber. $1 with DoorDash base pay is here. If you are expecting to do 2 things when you accept that offer, DoorDash is paying you $1 to go to Chipotle and $1 to go to Taco Bell. If the customer tips you or not, that has no bearings on what they're giving you. They're paying you $1 to do 2 different things. Nowhere in this country is gas less than $2. No offer from any gig company should ever be less than a gallon of fucking gas. Are you kidding me? You guys have got to stop taking these orders. If you're new here, please hit decline. Wait for something better. It should come. We cannot be continuing to do these orders. It's making it harder on the ones out here that are actually trying to make money. The barrier of entry in these gig economy apps is very low, but the pay is going to continue to go down. I mean, what's to stop DoorDash from giving us 50 cents every order? And if there's a good tip on there, hey, there's a good tip. But if your base pay now, if you're somebody that does a lot of stacks, you just got your base pay cut in half. Usually it's 4, now it's 2. If you do 20 stacks a week, do the math. It's $40, right? $40 in a week might not seem like a lot. That could be your gas cost. That could be half your gas cost. 40 times 4 weeks, $160. Maybe that's your phone bill. 160 times 12. Now that's a little bit of money over the course of a year. Anyways, I've ranted, I rave. I wanted to get that out of my brain. When I see stuff like that and you guys send me that stuff, it's defeating, man. So we'll talk about the streaks real quick. There's some new delivery streaks as well. Benefits to boost your earnings. Delivery streaks between now and October 24th earn an extra $11 when you complete 7 orders in a row when dashing between 11 and 2 p.m. So that basically means you can't decline. Some of you guys have had mixed results with this based on what I've seen, what you've told me. I haven't had the streaks in my area. I can't remember. There's been times when I've done 7 in a row if they're good, but that's not that frequent, right? But an extra 11, sometimes it might work out for you. I don't know. It's probably about the same as if you just decline the trash, right? And then also part of that benefits to boosting your earnings is priority access to Dash Now, which is basically saying we are also piloting a new benefit, priority access to Dash Now. This means dashers with high ratings will get prioritized for access to Dash Now. Take advantage of this benefit basically just by being above 50%. DoorDash is going to do whatever they can to get every order delivered. I don't blame them for that. But you can't do these kind of things. You'd be basically incentivizing some dashers to do these streaks. You're just shifting money from pile A to pile B. You're saying, I'm going to take away the base pay from my drivers, and I'm going to put it in some promos, which are streaks, or maybe in a peak pay. But drivers aren't making more money. Based on the poll results, they're not. You guys aren't making more money. 11% of you are making great money. I feel like I'm actually part of that 11%. I'm great to good, and I'm good about that. But 70% of you guys aren't making what you need to make. Now, we are independent contractors, so it is up to us to figure out other ways, other apps. But listen, I'm going to say it right now, a lot of people that I probably love and respect will disagree with me. All of these apps are about the same. Let me say that one more time for everybody in the back of the room. All of these apps are about the same or will be the same. DoorDash is just one of the guys that's been around a little longer. Grubhub lowered things. Instacart's lowering things. Uber's lowering things. Lyft is doing crazy things. All of these gig economy apps are about the same. DoorDash is not the worst. They're not the best. They are just one of many that take advantage of you if you allow it. Rant over. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. I'm feeling passionate tonight. I've had a good day. I got a lot of these emails I'm reading you. I got many of them this week. All right, let's see. All the apps are the apps, not the drivers. All the apps are for the apps, not the drivers. True. Dustin is driving. What's up? Yeah, I think sometimes situationally they do good things. They put in things that can be helpful. But, man, I'm seeing more and more. When you're in 2023 with inflation the way it is and you're lowering the pay, it's a fucking goddamn shame. Just keep it the same. I don't even expect you to pay me more. I just don't. I get how business goes. I get that. But you can't lower it. But they can, because we're still going to fucking go work tomorrow. You are still going to go work tomorrow, even with $1 base pay on a stacked order. $1 each run is what DoorDash is valuing. $1 for each. So you walk into that Taco Bell and you wait or you don't wait, whatever. You put it in your bag, you put it in your car, and you whoop, turn the key. DoorDash values you at $1. You go to Chipotle. It's a mile or maybe it's next door. You wait, you don't wait, you got to call the customer, you do this, you put it in your hot bag, you turn the ignition. DoorDash is valuing you at $1. That is despicable. Let's break it down to the bare bones. $1 is what they value at. $1. $1 is what DoorDash is valuing you at. Instacart values you at $4 and change. Uber Eats values you at $1 and some change. What's up, guys? Earn by time is causing these non-tippers to get picked up. Yeah, they are, Allison. But earn by time for some people, there can be benefits. Situationally, I think there's some benefits to it. It allows your AR to go up if you think that could be helpful for you. And in some markets, it clearly is helpful. It also sometimes, if there is a tip, you're gambling. You have no idea how much you're making. But there could be good payouts there. It does keep you busy as well. There's some benefits, but overall, I think it's crash. Okay. Oh, I'll go do my thing, Pedro, but I ain't taking no shit. I hear you, man. I hear you. All right. Let's see. Yeah, UDM, I've seen it, man. It's less than that on Uber Eats, Pedro. I've seen less than $1. I've seen $1.44, and I've seen screenshots of, I think, like some 88 cents that's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. Like, it's just, Now, we can all figure things out, right? And I don't want this sky isn't falling. I don't want this to be a negative thing. I'm just providing you my opinion and the facts of what many of you guys are going to see right? Many of you guys are going to continue to see this. You're going to get this email, and it's telling you earn per offer mode updates. And you can earn per offer, whatever. This person did 2 runs, and DoorDash paid them $2. So they paid them $1 per pickup. Taco Bell, Chipotle, $8 payout. Hey, maybe this was only going a mile. And maybe the Taco Bell and Chipotle or boom, boom. Maybe this could have been only 15 minutes of time for $8. That's not bad. But we don't know, right? But still, that's not great. They're valuing you at $1. That it just makes me sick. I just don't like it. And listen, I'm not, when DoorDash does good things, I say it. When I feel like they do bad stuff, I'm gonna say it. I gotta be equal. I gotta. DoorDash isn't paying me. I'm not on the payroll. I don't give a fuck if they see this video. This is despicable. Uber should be ashamed. Instacart, DoorDash, all these apps are the same. They all treat us about the same. I don't care. I can name other apps, but I don't want to get too many people flustered. All these apps are more similar than alike. And if an app started 2 years ago, I bet you they're paying you less right now in base pay, or the promotions are gone away. The thing we have to realize is these companies are in to make money. This isn't charity. This isn't Meals on Wheels. They have shareholders, some of them. They want to make money, right? And they also realize that the barrier of entry is low. The turnover is very high. So somebody like me and many of you guys have been doing this for 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 years. That is not normal. We are 5% of the workforce. Most people doing this do it for a very small amount of time, and they're absolutely okay with doing an $8 order and them DoorDash paying you $1 per order. Really, DoorDash isn't paying you anything. I've talked about this before. I know I'm going on one tonight. I'm on one tonight. I'm feeling it. I feel passionate. I just want to share with y'all, and then we'll get into the vibes. I'll put the StreamYard link up in a second. $1, it's just crazy. I've talked about this before. The customer's paying you everything, but that's a whole nother stream. I've talked about that. DoorDash isn't paying you anything. And all companies, but they're not. They're just not paying you anything. They're just the $2 paid in this was paid by the consumer, or they got, and even if there's a peak pay, they got the money from the percentage from the restaurant. It is what it is. All right. Let me see if there's any other good comments I can put on here. Yeah, Chris, I think, let me see. I think DoorDash has done something. Some customers have to put in a code or a sign, or Uber Eats, you have to put a code. Some customers have to sign for it. I think DoorDash has done some things, but you can't fix stupid, right? And some customers are stupid. They're going to get away with it and find ways to play the system. Pedro is in the house. I just don't like it. It's just crazy, man. I can deal with them, to be at a $2 base pay on a stack, and then it's $4 each or $2 a piece, whatever. My base pay went from $2.75 when I started to $2.25. 50-cent hit. It just continues to go down. Eventually, it's going to be 50 cents. Why wouldn't it be? Many of you guys would still work. If they sent you an email, put in the chat right now. I'm going to ask a question, and then I'm going to get interactive with you guys. I got one last question. I know I've gone on a rant here. We're already, we're almost 30 minutes in. If you got an email right now, and you're scheduled to work tomorrow, going to work this week, whether it's 4 hours this week or 40, the hours are irrelevant. If DoorDash said, you know what, guys, we're going to start, every order is going to have 50 cents base pay, plus you're going to get your tips and promotions and streaks and incentives. But everything is going to be 50 cents. And on orders that are more than 5 miles, those orders will be $2 base pay. But anything less than 5 miles, 50 cent base pay. So that means if a customer tips $4, they'll give you a scenario. Then you're going to make $4.50 for that 1 mile run. Maybe some of you guys will be fine, or you're going to make $4.50 for that 4.9 miles. Put a 1 in the chat if you're still going to work, or 2 if you'd say, I'm not working for 50 cent base pay. Put it in the chat right now, and I'll stand by and wait for you guys. A 1 if you would still work for 50 cent base pay, plus your tips and streaks and promotions and incentives. A 2 if you'd say, you know what? No, I am not working for 50 cents from DoorDash. I'm not seeing 50 cent offers. I'm not seeing $2.50 offers. A 1 or a 2. 2. Okay. I see a lot of 2s. Wow. More 2s than okay, bud. So this says 1. Okay. A lot of 2s. 1, cherry picking. Okay. 2. 2. A lot of 2s. Overwhelming. Todd says 1. 2. No giggity. We all will turn it on let's face it, keep it 100. I think I agree with that. A lot of twos. 1, I'm glitching, says a review. Adam says 1. Most of you guys are saying 2. LT HUD, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2. I would still work, but I wouldn't take them. Okay, yeah, so you're still going to turn the app on. That's where I lie. I'm still turning the app on because I'm not going to take away an opportunity. If my Aldi runs that I usually do are paying me $25 on average, okay, now maybe they're going to pay me $23.50 on average. So I'm taking a hit of $1.50 or $1.75, right? Because my base pay lowered. But there's still money to be made. But that would be like, dang, okay, if I do 20 runs today, I'm making $40 less than I would have last week. That's a lot of money in just one day. If it goes from, or well, not 40, let's call it $37. I mean, that's $37 is a lot of money of your earnings. If you're trying to make $37 is $37. That's one really good order, one really great shopping pays, 4 or 5 smaller orders, 8 orders for some of you guys, right? Crazy. I saw a lot of 2s. So a lot of you guys are saying you would not turn on the apps. I think some of you guys are capping. Is that what the kids say? Because I'll tell you right now, $2K a year. There you go. $2K a year, says Chris Boy. That's money, man. Compound that over the millions of drivers. A lot of money. That's how companies save money. Give you a quick story. I worked for the casino. I worked at Applebee's. Labor is your biggest cost, biggest expenditure. It's always about cutting somebody out early. How do you shave labor? You paid your labor's at 18%. I get it. I need you to get it down to 17.3, 17.2. Pedro, your labor's 20% today. Run me a labor report. I need you to cut 5 people right now. At the end of the day, since sales are going to tank the last 4 hours we're open, your labor is either going to go up or it can't go up. I don't want you to end your labor at 24% if it's 20 right now. So cut everybody so you can at least keep it to 20. Maybe it goes down or up just a little bit. These companies are no different. How do we cut labor? Cut the cost of the base pay. That's it. It's very simple. Very simple. All right. I've went on one today. I appreciate y'all for hanging in. Okay. Let me share this link with you guys. I would love to have people that have never been on the show. I'm looking for a fresh perspective. Okay. DoorDash is introducing these streaks, which some of you guys like, some of you don't. All these companies are lowering base pay. All of them. I would love for somebody to come on tonight's show and tell me one company that the base pay has gone up over the last year, 2 years, 3 years. I can't think of one. I'm not expecting it to go up. I want to be very clear. But what we have to understand is the motives and the ideologies of these companies so that we can move effectively and accordingly and understand maybe I need to get new apps. Maybe I need to look at the app different. Maybe I do need to get my AR up because they're prioritizing it, whether I agree or disagree. I can't think of any app. And there's some good little apps out there right now that people are plugging and talking about. That shit's going down. I'm telling you right now, the videos that will be made this time next year will not be the same. That shit's going down, or the opportunities will be less. All these app companies are more similar than they are unalike. I think I said that right. They're all very, 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 very similar. Maybe not with transparency and other things and how the offer screen looks and the interface of the screen and things like that, but they're all very, very similar. All right, Pitstar, what up? All right. So what happened to Dash and Trader? I don't know. What happened to Dash and Trader? Is he good? That's my man's right there. What happened to him? All right, let me see if I can get the link up for you guys. Give me a second. Okay, there it is. Last week, I think you guys said something about, okay, copied. I forgot. I didn't even put it in chat, but I think it was it Control Z? No, what was it? Control something. Somebody send me something. It was Control something, and I could click it in that little whatever. I'll come up after the new people come on. Yeah, I want some new faces. Listen, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I want a fresh perspective. I would love to learn something tonight. I love to have somebody that's never been a part of the show, that wants to be part of the show, to come on and have a little screen time with me. Control V. That's what I thought. All right, let me see. There it is. Bam. I love y'all. Thank you very much. And I will be having a new camera, a new setup, probably sometime before Christmas. So just know that that's coming. It's going to be a little bit better lighting, brand new camera, and another PC. So I'm going to level up before 2024 for you guys. All right, let me pin this comment for you guys. I think I have it in there. Okay, there it is. I'm going to pin it. DoorDash, man, whoo, they lowering that pay. They're going to continue to lower it. It's crazy to me. I just think in 2023, man, they're just taking advantage of some of us. Where do you fall in that? Where do you want to lie in that? Do you want to be taken advantage of, or are you going to be smart and know how to move effectively? All right, let me pin this for y'all. Boom, boom. Go ahead. Now, go ahead and come on in. I'm going to read some comments until we get somebody brand new to come in. But this is what we're talking about here. DoorDash is sending emails out, and they are saying this right here. Let me show you guys. Earn per offer mode updates. $2 base pay. You got your base pay cut in half on stacked orders. Base pay cut in half on stacked orders. What do you guys think about that? All right, let's see. Mango Man, what's up, Charlie D? Appreciate all the new people coming in. Why so serious? Lately, I've saw Grubhub be busy AF. Well, DoorDash has really slowed down. Interesting. Usually I hear the opposite, but I'm glad to see an app is busy for you. And Washington says, I am making $37.16 hour this past week. So I haven't taken any bad orders. My stats are good. So maybe, I love that for you, Ann. Love that. How much money did you make today, Pedro? I did not work today in the gig economy, but I made money doing other things. So we're talking about this right here. They're lowering the base pay. I see somebody waiting. I think the name is Miko. I'm going to bring you on in just 1 second. Appreciate you for joining us. So I didn't work today in the gig. I don't work Sundays. Sunday is a family day. It's a relaxation day. It's a football day for you. Let's see. I'm new, and I find pay by time has been doing better for me. So to earn by time, okay, says seamless. $14.25 an hour plus tips as a newbie is worthwhile for longer runs. Interesting. Okay. If as long as those runs have tips on them, I can see that perspective. If you're making your goals, I can't hate on you on that. AI will make metrics worse. Eventually, driverless. Yes, Lisa, that is happening already. It's going to happen. I think we still have some time before we get to that point, but I definitely feel like that's going to happen. All right, so let's bring in our first guest. I believe this person has not been with us. I don't see. Let's see here. All right. And I also see VR computers. So let's do one at a time here. Let's give you guys about 5 minutes apiece. So I got Miko here. All right, Miko, can you hear us?
Yes. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I believe this is your first time on the show, correct?
Yes. It's so funny. I'm going to be quick. Usually I'm sleep around this time. It's kind of hard to catch me on the show because I have to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate you being here. I think I saw you on UDM's channel a couple weeks ago. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. I am glad you are with us tonight. I appreciate you spending a late night time. Are you on the East Coast or what coast are you on?
I know I'm in Orlando.
Okay, great. So a little Florida action. Lovely. Okay.
So
give me some. You said you're from Chicago?
Yeah.
That's where I'm from. I got the Michael Jordan guy right behind me. See him? There you go. Love it. Love it. What part of Chicago are you from?
So I grew up on the South Side.
Okay, great. So you a White Sox fan? Maybe. I love it. I love it. Love the energy. All right. So give me some perspective on this. Is this in your market? What do you think about them lowering the base pay on stacks? Is it even a big deal? I would love to hear your perspective on this.
So I was going to do a video on this, but now that you're talking about it, I'm not going to do the video about it. But I received a stack the other day, and it was the base pay, but it was for the same customer. So the base pay was like $5.50, and it was only one tip, $1.50, and then it was because it came out to $8 or something like that. So in that situation, I didn't have the 2 deliveries where it was just one.
Yeah.
But
so because it was going to the same person.
It was going to the same person.
Yeah. I get those. I really like those because for me, this just saves you so much time, right? For me, I get a lot to where like somebody will get something from a Chipotle and maybe order something from like a Walgreens or a 7-Eleven, and it's like those are really good for me. But do you think $1 in the scenario that they share with us, where it's Chipotle and Taco Bell, and it could be the same customer, we don't know. Do you think $1 is kind of a slap in the face to do two different things that DoorDash is asking us to do if we accept it?
You know, it's funny because I made a video about soon we're going to be just delivering on tips.
Mm.
And it's coming towards that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I get it, you can't afford to give more than $2 or $3 or $4 in a tip, then I'm just keeping it real. Go get your own food.
Yeah.
No, it's not fair to the drivers. $1, like even when you do Uber Eats, I'm not gonna lie. I did a $4 order because it was 1.6 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And the base pay was like under $2. Like you gotta be joking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if the customer took the tip away, that $2,
it's crazy.
I'm left with under $2.
Yeah. Yeah. In 2023. I mean, that's, you know, and I don't blame. I mean, I'll do a 425. That's kind of like my lowest I'll go if it's going a mile. And I know it's a quick spot. Like I'll do those depending on time of the day. Cause I just, hey, it's $4. They tip me a couple bucks probably. Let me get this person their food. I'm good with it, especially if it's dead or if it's 2 p.m. or something. You know, I think there's still some profits to be made, but with Uber, yeah, they could take that tip back. You know, Uber messes with the money even more. Uber messes with that money because you can look at the payouts, as you know, the breakdown of like what the customer paid the app, what the customer paid you, and how DoorDash messes with that money. I've seen base pays to where like there'll be like a surge or some kind of promo. And most of my runs used to be like $3 minimums on Uber, but then the base fare would be like $1.18. And then because there was a surge, they put the surge in with the base fare to get it to $3. So it really was not even a surge promotion because without that, I would have been getting $3 anyway. So they do a lot of crazy. Uber does that crazy stuff with the money, you know?
Yeah. Before I get off of here, I would like, because you're from Chicago, I'm from Chicago, we're going to have to talk about doing something together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have to do something together. But,
so can you tell me a little bit about what you do on your channel, how long you've been doing it? And also I want to know, just because we're talking about this tonight, why not make that video still? So tell me a little bit about your channel, what you got going on over there.
Well, okay, so originally, so I'm Miko the entrepreneur for the ones who know or don't know me. I started out as food delivery scooter entrepreneur. So if you go to my channel, when you type in Miko the entrepreneur, it's going to have the banner food delivery scooter entrepreneur because that's how I started out. I was doing DoorDash and Uber Eats on a gas scooter and an electric scooter. And then eventually I sold my scooter and I got a vehicle. So actually I have 2 channels. So the logo that you see behind me, the virtual, that's Dope Beverage. That's my brand. So
can you scoot over to either your left or right so we can get a really good view of it? Or okay, love it. Okay, do it. Love it. Okay, thank you. I wanted people to get the full effect because it was kind of hidden. Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah. So when you go to my channel, when you scroll down, you're going to see the second channel. So right now, I think the first channel I'm at like 787 subscribers, and the second channel I'm at 461. So I'm, you know, they're all organic.
Listen, no, we all start with 0. You know, so for me, when I see people starting a channel or channels or whatever, I love it. You know, and the subscribers come when they come, and I think YouTube. I've had a crazy journey. I've only been on here for not even 3 years, but I totally love the YouTube hustle, and it's awesome. And I love to see other people doing something similar and trying to get a piece of that pie and share their wisdom and share their perspective. I think it's fantastic, Miko. So I appreciate you coming on and sharing that with us. And email me. My email me is in the about section of my page. And I would love to definitely do some kind of collaboration, especially since you're a South Sider of Chicago. We got to make something happen.
Got to represent.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. And I appreciate you coming on this late night. I'm happy that you're here with us.
Now I'm about to go to bed.
There you go. All right. Rest well.
So what I'm going to do is just put my link at the bottom, and then I'll see you guys soon.
Love it. Thanks, Miko.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Shout out to Miko. I love when I see new faces. Tonight's intention was I want to get some fresh fresh perspective, new people up on the screen. Listen, I love you OGs. Don't get me wrong. I love the Bud Sodas and everybody that come on every week and the other people that come on. It's no hate, but I wanted the opportunity because I know sometimes when I put that link up, the back room gets full. I want these new people to come on and share some perspective. I want to hear your opinion about what we're talking about tonight. So I see Will G is up next. I see Damien. All right. And I see Cowboy Courier. So Damien and Will G, we're going to bring you guys up now. I'll bring up Will G. I want to do it individually. Before I bring up Will G, let's stay in the chat, see if we got anything going on here. Appreciate you guys. Do you ever let people just call in and talk to you without video? I am too shy to do the video. Says, oh, you know what? When I first started these lives, that's how I did it. I actually shared my phone number, my business line, and I would call, and it was like a whole AM show. And I'd have like my mic, I'd have the phone with them, and you guys could hear it. Because I didn't have StreamYard. And I'm not against that. That's not how we currently do it. But maybe one day we'll go back into the old school. So I agree. Just because Pedro made a video on it doesn't mean, yeah, I definitely, Miko should make that video. I love that. She should definitely do that. All right. So let me bring up Will G real quick. I think he's ready. Will, what's up, man? How you doing? Oh, I think you got to maybe unmute yourself. I can't hear you. Okay. Well, it says you're unmuted. Okay. Try to connect correctly. We'll give you a minute. Okay. Say in the chat. So for those of you that are just coming in, hit that thumbs up, all that good stuff. We're talking about DoorDash sending out the email. This was the email that many of you guys got and many of you sent me. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can bring it back up. There it is right there. Let me earn per offer mode updates. As you know, DoorDash would pay us $4 for stacks, right? That was the minimum, which is cool. Well, I'm fine with it. Now in some markets, going to pay you $2. So in this scenario, there was a tip, which is whatever. It's cool. $8. We don't know the mileage, right? But Taco Bell, Chipotle. So they're valuing you at $1 a delivery in base pay. Crazy. All right. Let's see if Will's ready now. Let's go there. Will, are you with us? We cannot hear you. No. It doesn't look like your mic's muted on my end, but so it's got to be something on your end. Maybe it's a connection issue or something. But if you were muted, if your mic was muted, the little mute thing would be there.
Hear me now?
Yes, we are good. There we go.
Hey, what's going on, Pedro?
What's up, man? How are you today?
Hey, man, I'm probably the creme of this because I'm literally just getting into this. This is like my second week now.
Oh, okay. So you knew. I like that. I like that. That's good, man. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the community. There's a lot of great channels on YouTube that can give you some entertainment, some relatability, and hopefully make you make more money. So what do you think about this, man? You're new, so you didn't know that the base pay used to be higher. Now they're lowering it. As a new driver, what has your experience been the last couple of weeks? And what do you think about DoorDash paying you $1 per delivery on stack orders? Give me your perspective.
Yeah, I could never do that. The only way I would ever like do that type of order is basically if it's like the last order and it's taking me right to my house.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like if that's like, hey, you know what, those people live next to me, I got to go there anyway.
Right.
Let me make this $8 or something. Yeah.
And that's what they've been doing, actually. I don't know if it's just for new drivers. You got to get to some certain amount of quota or something like that for how many orders you've done. But basically, I can only do by schedule. Mm-hmm. And what I did at first is I was just basically having every single hour lined up. But what happened is that it would try to take me back to my home for the last order pretty much. So what I do, I'm in Columbia, Maryland. There's a place called Clarksville, and they have a lot of prestige restaurants and everything around that area. That's what I do, man. I go into the parking lot. I say my prayer pretty much before I start. Write down in my notebook the people that will tip well. I add them into my prayer at the end of the night. You know, thank you for the blessing, whatever. And it keeps me up there if I do it like in 4-hour increments. But if I do it in one, it only give me one job up there, and then it'll send me back down to where I live.
Interesting.
Pretty much for that last order.
Yeah.
So,
So you schedule in 4-hour increments, is what you're saying?
I was, and then as I started to learn, like if the farther out you are, the further apart you out, the more time that you can actually do it. I try to do it pretty much from 4:30 to 10. on the weekdays, and then this is my first weekend. This was the first weekend. First day I ever reached 100 was Friday.
Okay, nice.
I did it in almost 5 hours of the being on the app, but it was just under 3 for the
active time. Yeah. Okay.
Time.
So you had a little bit of downtime then, right?
Yeah. And that's because I was basically just it was trying to take me to areas where it was just like 20 miles for like 10 and stuff like that. And I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that. And your tips basically, he's like, wait for the good one, wait for that one that's in your arena. And I have an idea for DoorDash. I'm a cybersecurity engineer, and this is what led me to DoorDash. Is I was caring for my grandparents that had cancer, and when COVID came, the government basically said you got to get nothing against people that got the vaccine, but that's not for me. 5 years down the road, if we still need that, that's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But they kind of put me in a lock still, so I just cared for my grandfather pretty much as he was passing away, and I couldn't get back. So I basically just lived off my savings kind of like thing until it got down to the thing. And now I'm just basically getting back into the contract field, but Biden kicked the shutdown thing for 45 days. So I got to make money. I got bills and stuff like that now. So
DoorDash, that's kind of why you came to DoorDash, because, hey, I got to make some cash, and I know I could do this and exchange some time for some money.
Exactly. And I even told like my friends and everything, I'm like, this is really good, man. I'm like, I probably still do this even after I get back on contract, because I would like to really find something that's just like for service for like elderly people that I could like provide service to, to get them their items and stuff like that. And that would pay for my grocery bill or something like that, so it's a win-win, but the idea that I have for DoorDash is if they allowed you to do what's basically a quarantine area, basically you could on the app, you could draw around the area that you would want pretty much, and it wouldn't go outside that boundary. So it wouldn't be taking you outside of your zone, especially for me, like, because I got to get back in my zone before I can take orders again. So the only way I'm doing that is if the order is like $15-20, because then I'm like, okay, I made the money for that hour. Okay, I'm good. So. Yeah.
What's interesting is New York City, not the whole state, but the city have very different kind of, their app is different. So they show us they show the New York City drivers upfront tips, and like you see all the information, full transparency.
Okay.
They had to fight for that, but then also you can set within the app parameters of distance. So if Will doesn't want to go, if you don't want to see any offer more than 3 miles, right? Then you won't even see it. So they have that. They have the functionality to do that within the app, because they do it in New York City. I would be for it mostly. I think sometimes maybe you might miss out on something really good that might be going 5 miles if your parameters are 3 or less.
Right.
But I think, it's an interesting take, and I think a lot of us like to kind of stay in a bubble, right? We like to kind of keep our mileage low, be real quick. I mean, there's definitely some benefits to it.
The people at the restaurants, they already know me. Like, man, you back for the 4th time tonight. Like, we never had a dasher like come this many times or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
same,
like,
man. I'm the same.
So if they could let me streamline that to under 10 miles, like that would cover pretty much that entire area. And that'd be fantastic. I think I saw a video when I first started watching before I subscribed. You had some kind of like mentorship or something like that?
What do you mean mentorship? What do you mean like
it was gonna be like a Patreon or something like that, where basically like you'd be like a crew or something like that, of like you trying to gather like other dashers.
Oh yeah. So this is what I have on the channel. We have memberships. If you go to YouTube, there's a membership tab.
Okay.
And if anybody that goes to the top tier of that membership tab, I basically do one-on-one personalized consultations or conversations to kind of level up your DoorDash app, level up your whatever you got going on in your life. I offer that on like a one-on-one basis for people, and I have a few people, and it's a pretty interesting group of guys. And eventually, maybe we all get together and we do StreamYards and Zooms, and we kind of help each other beyond the DoorDash stuff. It could be DoorDash stuff, but it could be beyond that, right? It's men or women, but yeah, it's a way for me to kind of give back. So yeah, that's an option.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to inquire
Hey, man,
about that.
check that out. And also, man, you can email me. If you go to my About section of the channel page on YouTube, my email is there. Email me directly, man. We can have a one-on-one conversation about what that could look like for you. And I do that for anybody that wants that information. So.
Got you. Last thing I was going to ask, does DoorDash do anything against people leaving any kind of card on an order?
What do you mean?
Business,
like
a business card?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know if that's technically against the terms of service or not. Maybe somebody in the chat could answer that. I don't want to say definitively it is or isn't. I do know there are a lot of people that work these apps, whether it's Instacart, Uber, or DoorDash, that have left business cards. So, for example, Will, if you're somebody that's trying to provide a service to your community and you want to give a business card to your customer, I know other people have done it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's against the TOS or not to solicit in that way. So I would definitely look at that. Look at your terms of service in the app. But I do know a lot of people have done that.
Gotcha. Because I'm trying to make a sports motivational graphics clothing line. I mean, I have a website and everything, and I was just wondering, like, I was even going to because usually what I do is I do everything through text for the customer. Like, I'm like, I'm at the restaurant. I'm picking up the order now. I'm on the way. And pretty much, can you flick the light, especially when it's at night, when it's like a dark, place or whatever. I'm like, you flick the light so I know which address is actually the one. Because especially around that rich area, them homes, they're way back. They're way back.
Oh yeah.
But they tip nice, so that's pretty much why I like to shark around pretty much my area.
Yeah.
And I would even ask, pretty much in a text, like, hey, can I leave my card? I was just wondering if anybody's ever done it, kind of like thing.
I don't know if, I think I'm seeing some answers in the chat that yes, it is, but legally we can. This person says, I'm sure there are tons of stuff that are against TOS, but are rarely enforced. Do not text or talk about it on recorded line, says Bud Soda. I definitely recommend that because sometimes the text, the support agents can see those kind of things. But listen, if you want my honest opinion, do a little more research. But if I have, you said you go to a lot of the same places, and as you go, you're going to start seeing a lot of the same faces, right? So on some of these hand-to-me's or even in your merchants, start telling your merchants some of the things maybe you're trying to do. Maybe they can help. Maybe you can leave a stack of your business cards there, put it on a clipboard at a Panera. You could definitely do that. That's legit. But I think as you meet some people in your community that you're servicing through the food delivery apps like DoorDash or whatever else you might try, if you hand them a business card, hey, I got this going on if you're ever interested. And, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But definitely do your due diligence to know that you're protecting yourself, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Hey, I appreciate it, Pedro.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Hey, email me, man. Go to my section, get that email, and hit me up, and we'll chat, brother.
I'll leave the link for you, too, for the website.
Sounds good. Thanks, man. Have a good night. All right. Great question there, because I think, there's a lot of things that are technically against TOS that we could, So those are tough. Right? Let me read some more comments from you guys. Build relationships. Yes, all day long we got to build relationships. Any having restaurants slipping vouchers in their bags to come in direct. Chris, I don't have a lot of that. But so it says, I like that guy. I like that guy too. He's a new driver, but I like his head on his shoulders. I love the hustle mentality, right? Hector, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? Big win today. We'll talk. Maybe you should come to tomorrow's podcast, bro. I'm telling you. Let's see. All right, we still got Damien waiting. We're going to bring Damien on in just 1 second. I just want to stay in the chat. Appreciate you guys for being here. Everything's good, man. Life is great, brother. Appreciate you asking. Yes. Come tomorrow. Both you and No Giggity, No Cloud, man. We're going to have a good show tomorrow, me and Hannibal at the podcast there. Let me see if I can get any other comments here. Anyone else notice that when your shift is nearly ending, you seem to get a bunch of crap orders in a row? Sometimes I see that. Yes, I do. Unless you're 90 is your old, then you're probably okay. I missed that one there. Hold up. Jessica, welcome from Illinois to Illside. I'm only about 15 minutes from Illinois. All right, so we're talking about, once again, for all the people that came in late, we're talking about this right here. Let me show it real quick before I bring Damien on. DoorDash in many markets now. I got a lot of emails this week. I got about 10, at least 10, with this screenshot. Pedro, I got this. This is new. What's going on? Like, I got this now. And there were some good things in the email and some things that were crazy. Earn per offer mode update. So basically, DoorDash is telling these delivery dashers in those markets that got those emails. I was not one of them, but if I get it, I'll share it with you. On a stacked delivery, the base pay on each delivery was $2. Now, for the entire offer, you're getting paid $2. Now, if there's a peak pay or something, it could be more, but the minimum is going to be $2. The minimum before was $4. So on stacked orders, DoorDash is telling me, hey, do you want to go to Taco Bell? And then I need you to go to Chipotle, and we're going to pay you $1 per run. And yeah, you can keep your tips, which is great. Thanks for that, DoorDash. We're going to give you $1 per order. That is crazy to me. I mean, that is just absolute madness. All right, let's bring in my man Damien real quick. I want to get his perspective on this. Damien, how you doing, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine, man. Give me some perspective, man. What do you think about this? Is it in your market? And give me your.
Me and you in the same market, and I met you 2 times.
Hold up, I gotta see. I have met you. Yes, I can't. Sometimes it's hard to see when the screen's so small. How are you, man? You good?
I'm doing good. I just came to give a little advice of how I roll. I think people should get out early in the morning. Get your day started way early, because if you allow DoorDash to pimp, they will pimp you. If you accept low orders, they will keep feeding them to you. So what typically happens is, when I leave from my house, let's say I go to where you're at, Webster Groves, the second I cross into the zone, I get all the crappy orders. These are all the orders that everybody has passed up. So they send those to the dashers as soon as you get into the zone. So I swipe right past most of those too, unless I see something good. And like the last gentleman said, sometimes as soon as you get to the area, the first thing they do is give you an order that takes you right back, damn near probably where you live.
Where you live, I get that sometimes. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So what time do you start, and what zone do you start in? Without telling me where you live, but if you tell me the zone, I can get.
It's cool.
You know, what time do you start? What zone?
Generally between 4:30 and 6:30.
Oh, you start real early.
Oh, yeah, because I don't want competition with the oversaturation.
Okay.
So, so that part kind of helps me, because usually, generally by 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, I've made $40 or $50. Most
how long
days,
do you go? How long? When does your day end? Does that vary at times, or?
I'm home. It varies, but I'm generally home by 11:30.
Okay, so you're doing early morning. So you're 11:30 a.m. So you're doing like 7-8 hours, but like you're done at the afternoon. Okay.
Yeah, and that's not even all the time. A lot of days. I mean, most of my days are $100 quotas, but I generally work every day. So I just try to get in and get out. My biggest concern is dashing when other dashers are dashing, because my experience is that like I used to dash in Florissant, and I would get out early, and the first thing I would notice is right about 10 o'clock, all the orders that I would get would become crappy. But what I found out is that most of the dashers are just now getting out.
Sure. So you're up against more competition, right?
Correct.
Do you feel that you're getting enough opportunities being out that early with not a lot of places open? Give me your morning perspective. Like, what are you seeing when you're out there for those times?
Okay, so what's going on in the morning is everything's not open. So I'm just like you. I'm a priority shop and deliver.
Yeah.
So I'm hunting Walgreens.
Oh, before you get too further, do you recommend that? You're in St. Louis, and I've been telling drivers it's really. Do you recommend that or not? Yes or no?
It didn't turn me bougie. You know, I done got bougie now. I can't tell you the last time I've been to a White Castle or any of that stuff. I'm not doing it, because
I'm the same.
For me, it's about not stressing myself out doing this job. And the things that stress me out are the long wait times, like the restaurants. All the doors are closed on everything. I mean, these restaurants are Saturday evenings at noon, 1 or 2 o'clock. They still got the dining rooms closed.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Like,
St. Louis is wild, especially
Yeah.
White Castles and some Wendy's and Taco Bells.
So
It's like it's a bright sunny day outside,
yeah,
and the doors are locked in. It's
Yeah.
you know,
yeah, yep. And I blame most of that behavior to this is a little bit off the subject, but I blame that behavior to the pandemic, because what I believe is that when the dining room started closing up because of the COVID pandemic, those workers got used to that. And then when they were able to open up the dining rooms back up, where they were sissified now, they said,
they didn't want to. They didn't want to.
I can't do the dining room and the drive-through at the same time. It's too much. We're understaffed. We're this, we're that. And so this is like the worst generation of fast food workers you're ever going to see in your life.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. St. Louis, man, is weird because, as you know, like not all Taco Bells or White Castles or KFCs are equal, right? There's some in one areas that are good and some that are bad. You know, some lobbies open, some lobbies not. But you're right on the money as far as that lobby thing. We still got lobbies closed. I tried to go to White Castle last week. And I didn't have an order. I was actually making a video and I knew the door was going to be closed. I was like, I'm going to record at the door. And I get there and sure as shit, the door is locked. And they got 10 cars. They got 10 cars in the drive-through. So it's like, I'm not going to White Castle, even if it's $10 for a couple miles.
And they usually pay pretty good.
Yeah, but they pay good because I think they pay good because sometimes those orders sit for a while, or the AI knows that a lot of drivers don't want those orders, so they're gonna
pay a little bit higher.
Is going to pay a little bit higher, but
let
me ask you this real quick. So tomorrow you're going to work, right? You're working tomorrow morning, okay? Tomorrow morning or tonight, in the middle of your sleeping, right? You wake up, you turn your app on, you got an email from DoorDash that they're going to pay us $2 per stack, so $1 for each stack. How are you going to feel about that? Is that a big deal to you? Or are you just like, you know what, I'm still just going to take what's good? Like, how do you feel about taking a pay cut if that came to St. Louis?
Well, I don't really care what it says about the base pay, because the total pay is what I'm looking at. So as long as the total pay is doable for me, then I'll do it. Most of the times when I look at my total earnings, my tips and my DoorDash pay, they are almost like 50-50 almost every time. Pretty close. They're pretty close.
You know what? I've been, mine's like that too, the last month or so, or 2 months, because I've been doing all the shopping pays, and those base pays are crazy, as you know, sometimes. And if there's a decent tip, the pay's just, so yeah, I used to be like 70% tip, 30% base pay. But now I'm like 55-45.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there.
About 55 tips, 45, you know, so, and I don't mind it. It's fine.
Yeah. Yep. So that's why I say I don't care how I get it now. My advice when it comes to those restaurants like McDonald's and White Castles or whatever that's in your market, hey, if that dining room is locked, I don't sit in the drive-through. I totally go right on the side of the drive-through window and wait for an opening and jump in there and grab the DoorDash. And they look surprised every time. They look like they're not happy, but that order generally was there before everybody that was in that line.
Yeah, you're saving time. Yeah.
Saving time. And that's another thing too. I want to say that I'm coming to the realization of, if you have better vendors, the experience is better, and you look at DoorDash differently. So I see it. Sure. Yeah, I see the crappy orders coming in, and yeah, I bypass most of them. But what I have to do is for instance, when I was dashing in Florissant, I was doing good. This may be last year or so. I was doing really well, and it started getting oversaturated. So I went to Florissant East, and it was barely anybody dashing over there, but they wasn't tipping, and the orders were really low. So I do downtown and Webster Groves primarily. That's
where I'm at, you know. Yep. Those are my zones. Yep.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, I kind of did that because of you said you had such a good experience out there. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, these are good zones, man. You can, they're close. You could fly. You can work between two of them.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of crazy traffic. A lot of good merchants. Some shop and pay. I mean, I definitely feel like we're blessed with our zone in St. Louis. I think it's a little hidden gem. I think St. Louis, obviously, there's going to be trash here and there, and there's going to be issues. But that's any.
Well,
market.
You got to look.
I think it's pretty good. I think St. Louis is pretty good. So.
Well, look at it like this too, Pedro. St. Louis has the highest crime rate in the country.
Unfortunately, we do.
So we're dashing in the most dangerous city in America. Okay, think about it though.
Yeah.
So that's something. So and I don't know how people do it at night, just like the gentleman said before, how he flashes his lights to see the addresses. I do the same thing, but I just gave up on the nighttime stuff unless I really need to make some money or something. And the bonuses late at night, they don't do anything for me, because every single time that I go out there and I try to dash doing those bonuses, $3, $4, $5, it's like one order comes in.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. And in St. Louis, I mean, even if I don't do a lot of late night. I do it here and there, but it's very rare that I'm out past 7. But like the times that I would be out, maybe it's 10 or 11. I've been out at 12, 1 o'clock. Man, I would turn down $20 runs if I saw it was going to a bad part of St. Louis. I was like, I'm not going to White Castle and then going to the state streets on the south side. I'm not doing it. I don't care if it's $20. Yeah. It's not worth my time, man. These young cats out here be they wild, So,
they absolutely are. It's not worth
for me. It's like no amount of money is worth any kind of issue or whatever. Now I'll deliver to those neighborhoods during the day, all day long. I got no problem. But at night, it's a different beast in St. Louis.
Yeah, and it surprised me when I see women doing it. Like, what? So, like, if I'm scared, I'm a big old dude. I'm scared to be out at night. Why are you out here? So,
yeah, I just don't want to for me, I'll go anywhere. But like for me, it's more about, you never know, even the person you're dropping off to at night, at midnight on Miami and somewhere, or Illinois and Texas, and you know what I'm saying, or somewhere even in Florida. Exactly. So it's like, I don't know what the neighbor's doing, how they feel. There's just too many elements that's like, for me, it's not worth $20.
It's not. It's definitely not. It's definitely not. So, yeah. So it's just I just believe you got to get up early in the morning, go get your money, and head on back. The other dashers are the main competition, and the instant they all come on, DoorDash starts dropping their offers because they have options. See, I don't have to deal with Pedro. I don't have to deal with Damien, because I can get Keisha to do it for $2. Damien and Pedro want 10. And then they take them, and then there's nothing that me and you can do about it. And they're going to continue that. So as long as people keep taking those orders, like when I see somebody with 80, 90% acceptance rate, without doing the glitch, I'm like, you must be crazy, because you're taking every order, and these orders.
Well, just about, yeah.
I mean, how many times have you got an order and you declined it, even though you wanted to get your acceptance rate up, and then instantly right after that order, you got a good order?
Oh, it happens all the time. Yeah, it happens all the time. Now, there are times that I'll, depending on the day and certain things, I'll take something that might be borderline. So for me, like if it's noon, I'm not taking a $4 or $5 order at noon, right? But if it's 2 p.m. if it's going a mile and it's Papa John's $5 for a mile, I might take that, right? Because it's like it's slow. I know I'm not going to see a lot. But at noon, I know if I decline at 5, and even if I decline the next one that's 5, and the next one, I'm going to get something that's $15 in that 10-minute span. You know what I'm saying? I just know that whether it's shop and pay or not. So being patient, I think, is still very valuable. I'm not waking up at 4:30, bro. Not to go dash. I can't do it. You could do that. I can't do it.
Yeah. I'm an early bird. I can't sleep long. So
listen, man. No, I respect the hustle, man. And I appreciate you coming on. It's always good to see you. Hopefully we'll see each other soon.
Yep.
And stay safe out there, man.
The same to you. Appreciate the space too. All right, Pete.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
All right, fellow St. Louis, and I love it, man. This is a good vibes, and I know I started off ranty and maybe negative to some of y'all, but I can't stand these apps sometimes. I love them as an opportunity, but for DoorDash and all these apps to continue to lower the base pay, they deserve to be slapped in the face. Okay. And DoorDash, if you're watching, because I know you've at least seen one of my videos, and anybody can share this video with them, for you guys to send out this email. Okay. Let me put it up one last time for y'all. $1 per run. You want me to go to Chipotle and Taco Bell and you value us at $1? That's crazy, man. And like, I believe it was Miko, our first guest that came on, and I think she said, hey, eventually we're going to be just working on tips. And hey, some days that might be okay, right? But it's just not okay, because more and more customers, there is an anti-tip movement. I don't know if you guys are aware of it. I'm not sure if you're on the news outlets and the TikToks or whatever you get, wherever you get, but there is an increased movement of no tip from the customer side. They're saying, hold on. And it's a lot of younger folks. It's people younger than me. So we're talking like between 20 and let's say 30, 35. Okay. And they're like, hold up, these companies should be paying you. Why am I paying you a wage? I'm sick of this tip culture. I'm sick of trying to tip at Starbucks and everybody's got an iPad. I went to the cannabis store. They want me to tip them. I went here. I went there. Everybody wants to fucking tip. These customers are done. An increasingly amount of consumers are done leaving tips. Now, they might be done at their local shop, coffee shop, and they might not be done for food delivery because they value that service. But what I'm saying is, if we get to the point where we're just working on tips and they continue to lower the base pay for $2 for a stack, and all these companies are doing the same thing. Uber, Instacart just lowered there a couple of months ago. DoorDash is doing it, market by market. All these other new apps that everybody loves to talk about, that they're the best thing since the best since sliced bread. I love I'm getting these high payouts. That base pay is going down. I'll make another video next year. So your favorite app right now that you're making good money with, you might be still making good money next year, but you're going to be making less from that app. I guarantee it. All these apps move in that regard. And I'm just kind of like, that's crazy. $1? I mean, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts, right? So I think I still see a couple more people that want to come up. I don't want to make this live super long, but I do value you guys that have been waiting in the background, and I'm going to bring you guys up. So I see No Giggity, No Clout. Okay. But I also see Kevin and Cowboy Courier. So I want to bring those guys up together, and I'll bring up No Giggity, No Clout after that. So I'm going to bring you guys up together, give you guys a little time to chat. So I got my man, Kevin. What's up, brother? How are you, man?
Hey, how you doing, Pedro?
I'm great, man. Happy to see you. Welcome back. And then Cowboy Courier. Let's see if he's still with us. Let me see.
Indeed,
Cowboy
I
Courier.
am.
There he is. All right. So we had some new people on. Now I got some of my OGs back. So Kevin, Cowboy Courier. I'll start with Kevin. What do you guys think about these apps lowering the base pay? Does that affect how you look at the apps or not? Give me your perspective. I'll start with you, Kevin.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I got that email too, and I just laughed. I'm like, okay. And I've actually seen already single orders going a very short distance to $2. And honestly, I know if it went down even lower, a lot of people in your chat said they gave a 2, saying they wouldn't work it. Well, I'll still work it, but when I see patterns, and I recognize them, and I put 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, okay, that order is a no-go.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to adapt. And this streak, I got the streak stuff until October 24th. I personally think it's a joke. Because in my area in Jacksonville, Florida, you do 6 of them for $9, and I did math. That's only $1.50 extra on that order. And the only reason, and one of the major reasons why they're lowering the base pay is these companies, it's like a battle. The companies want the customer to foot the bill for wages, and the customers think that it's the company's responsibility.
That's what I was saying. And to be honest, I know I am one of the Mr. No Tip, No Trips, and I still believe that. However, those people that think, hey, well, the company should pay you more, they're not wrong a lot of the times. They're just not. When you look at tipping culture, why it became a thing in America, the history of it. I did a video about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5. I'm going to do another one because I think a lot of people do understand the history of the tipping culture, how it came from Europe, from wealthy Americans. It went to Europe, and then they brought the Europe practices to America. And then we had slaves got freed, and a lot of people didn't want to pay them. So then they gave them jobs that were tipped jobs. I mean, there's a rich history of it. So I understand why people feel some type of way about it, but it still doesn't make sense why people would be like, hey, I want you to deliver my pizza and feel entitled, but I'm not going to give you $1 to do it. It's just kind of rude, you know, but yeah. I understand why some people feel like, hey, why do I have to pay your wage? Like, your company should pay that. Why am I these big conglomerate companies, these billion-dollar entities, and I have to pay you? Like, I get that. Cowboy Courier, give us some insight on this topic tonight.
There was somebody, I can't remember who it was that said it, but I thought it was funny, and it's always stuck with me. When you get those little $1, $2 tips, they said, I tip homeless people more than that.
You're not wrong. I mean, yeah.
I got the streaks in my place too. I'm up here in the Seattle area. There's actually a little bit of a quirkiness in the language that could potentially run them into some trouble. So when you're taking orders, it'll keep count for you. So if you accept and deliver this offer, it'll count as number 3 towards your 6 or whatever. Yeah. And then if you're on number 3 and it gives you an add-on, it won't say, hey, this will be number 4. It says, hey, this, accept and deliver this, and it'll be 3 towards your, but it'll count as your 4th once you do those 2. It'll tally them up. So where it gets really interesting, is when you're on the last one. If you delivered 5 and you're ready to deliver 6 of 6, it'll say, deliver this and you'll get the $9 streak pay. You take that, and then you get another add-on. It'll say, hey, deliver this and you'll get a $9 streak pay. But then when you deliver it, it gives you 1 instance of the streak pay, and then tallies up 1 delivery towards
it. It almost makes you feel like you should take it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like false advertising when they're saying, because it's like they say, how they always say, you're guaranteed paid at least this much.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's some quirkiness in the wording there that potentially opens them up to some kind of litigation. And so I think they might need to reassess the way that is all worded out. As far as how it's been working for me, I generally get like decent orders in my market anyways. But what I've been finding is like you'll get, 4 or 5 orders deep into your streak, and then like the last one or the last 2 will just be like atrocious orders that you wouldn't take normally. And it also, I feel like it actually kind of cooks you for that last little bit. Like you'll have the orders popping off right and left, at your regular rate. But then suddenly you'll be like, I'm waiting on this order for 20 minutes. What the hell is going on? It's like 11:45 a.m. Why am I waiting for 20 minutes? And then finally it gives you an order that's utter crap.
Yeah.
It's almost like the algorithm is like, hey, Cowboy Curry's out there. He's gonna take the next one because it's his streak. So let's wait until we got a right piece of garbage that we need somebody to take, because we can get these other good orders delivered.
Right. Could by anybody else that's out there not doing the streak or whatever, doesn't know about it, doesn't want to do that. I think these apps are definitely, they're just trying to figure out ways to get as many orders delivered. I don't blame them for that. I get it. So they'll do these streaks or promotions or peak pays or, get your acceptance rate up, and sometimes it works for you, and maybe sometimes it doesn't. But the streaks is something I haven't seen in St. Louis.
I wouldn't go for it. I haven't played with yet, because when you get into those streaks, like the closer you get, you're like, essentially it's becoming like a $9 tip on that last one, but not really.
Sure.
Like our friend here pointed out, it's really $1.50 per each one. But for the most part, to get you started into those things, you're going to be taking orders. Like the first order that you take to start a streak is going to be serviceable,
Yeah.
And like maybe if the third one in the streak is just utter garbage, you might just be like, okay, I'll let it reset. But I haven't messed around with like, so for instance, the penalty free unassigned for waiting at the restaurant for too long.
Yeah.
I don't know, but my gut tells me that if you use that, it might end your streak. You know,
I'm not sure.
I haven't tested because it says penalty free, but then the language of the streak is like you gotta do them, and so it's
I don't know how that would work with a streak. I think
exactly. I just haven't tested it myself yet because I just don't want to throw one away because I'm a cheap bastard like that, you know.
Yeah, I think the being penalty free more means you're not going to take a hit on your completion rate.
Right. But I don't know.
But I don't know how it means for a streak.
Yeah. Or same thing if you're like going to pick up order 6 in the streak and you're going to get the streak pay when you deliver that one, and then they offer you an add-on that's like like I was describing how it tells you you'll earn it twice and it's all screwy and. Obviously that's not the case. But then say that's a really crappy order and you don't want it. So then you decline it. Well, does that take you off the streak even though you've already accepted the 6th and you're getting ready to deliver it? But then because you declined an order while you're in mid-streak, it triggers it. And so I don't know. I haven't explored it. Because again, you'd have to get yourself into that position just to test it, and then if it does screw you over, then it's like, okay, I found out that fire does burn. There is burn damage in this game,
Yeah, I don't know how I would if the streak came to St. Louis tomorrow and I had to do 6 in a row. You have to accept them. You can't decline, right? You got to do 6 consecutive.
Yes.
I would only do it if I got lucky enough for the 6 were good, but I would not take a $2 or $3 run. Or I wouldn't do a 6 going 10 miles, and I see those. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I feel like that extra $8 or $9 at the end is either just going to be equal to what I would have made anyway, or maybe less, and it might put me to have to be in a spot I don't want to be. So I probably wouldn't do it. Not in St. Louis, at least. But
yeah, and then there's actually one other thing I want to throw in here before I run out on you guys. That new fellow was talking about how he'd like to have some kind of parameters to tell it like, hey, don't send me too far.
Yeah.
This is a little trick that people have been using around my market. I don't personally use it. I don't find it beneficial. But if you add on a vehicle to your account as a bicycle, then just run your orders in your car anyways, but have yourself set as being on a bicycle. It'll reduce the range of the orders that it'll offer.
Yeah. I've heard that.
It does take away the auto mileage deduction if you guys aren't using an independent app to track the mileage. The mileage that DoorDash is going to tell you with your tax information is going to not include the bicycle miles.
Plus, I think it takes away possible opportunities from
exactly.
If you're only
That's why
the app.
I like those 12-mile, $26 Sephora orders.
Sure, you're not going to get that on a bicycle, so it's never.
And then another thing is like the in-app nav will it'll take you through parks and up foot trails and stuff that you couldn't ordinarily take, and then your whole delivery timeline, the estimated time to deliver or estimated time to arrive is messed up.
Yeah.
Because it thinks that you can go ways that you can't, and it thinks that you're moving slower than you can, and so it's a little glitchy in that regard. But it is a way of telling it hey, I want to stay near this area, which I explored it for about a week, and I was making less during that week.
Yeah.
So that's why I went back to it. But other people swear by it, so I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit less discerning of a cherry picker.
People will do certain. I might do something, and you try it, and we can have very different experiences, right? And
it's right here in the same market, but it just depends on if that person's tolerance for a certain order, or maybe they just have their own personal preference regarding which restaurants they'll auto decline for. I don't have any restaurants that I auto decline. I will consider the order even if it's from the crap Taco Bell that always takes 20 minutes, because I'd like to see if there's an order that's going to pop up that's $16 for that 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know,
I got a couple in St. Louis. I don't go in, and I usually wait about 2 or 3 months. And then if I see an offer from them that's good, I might give them a shot. But if I go to a few places and I've had a couple of bad experiences and there's one, I'll just never go again. I just don't. Because for me, it's like not even why. It's like I'm gambling. Like, last time I went, it was horrible and I had to wait and they weren't ready and they were rude. So it's like, this is paying $10 for a mile, but is it worth that for me? Probably not. I always have a bad experience,
The wait time really is like, orders being 2 miles versus 4 miles, traffic being slow, missing a light cycle, an old elderly driver in front of you, or a bunch of pedestrians, like drawbridges up, even those things, like they frustrate the crap out of me when they happen. I feel like I should be able to get there faster, but really, and then same thing with like the customer that gives you the $5 tip versus the $3 tip. You say, I wish they'd all give you $5, but whatever, $3 tips. They can add it, but it's those damn stores that take forever to get the orders out. All that waiting time.
The waiting is the worst.
Waiting for 10 or 15 minutes at a restaurant. It's like, God, it doesn't even matter if the customer tipped really well at that point, but then you're in too deep and you got I guess there's the sunk cost fallacy at play. But it's like, if I'd hit every red light and if all of the tips were $1.50 less than they naturally would be, but every order be ready the moment that I walk into the restaurant, and I'd immediately get the attention of the staff and they'd be right there handing it to me and friendly, I'd go for that deal. I'd take it, because I feel like those other inconveniences just pale in comparison to the amount of time that I end up wasting just sitting at restaurants. All right. Well, hey, Pedro, it's great to see you. I gotta get running. I gotta order pickup.
Always good to talk to you, man. I appreciate you, brother. Be safe, man.
All right. Cheers.
All right. Let me get Kevin some final thoughts, my friend, before I go on to I got 3 people waiting. Kevin, you got some final words, my man?
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that video about $2 base pay a couple months ago. How you made that prediction? Yeah, you were spot on.
It's coming, man. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
And the stop and pay orders, I tell you one thing. I'm learning to love them. And one nice thing about stop and pay is you don't have to wait on a restaurant. The faster you stop, hey, the order is done, and you're on to your next one.
I love that you said that, because sometimes, if you don't know the place, it might take you a while. There's a lot of items, but there are many, many, many times, Kevin, and everybody watching, where I might take a Papa John's run. Let's say it's paying $8 for 3 miles, right? And I go to that Papa John's and there's a wait, and I might wait 10, 15 minutes. There are times I'll do a shop and pay Aldi, paying me $15, going less miles, and it takes me 10 minutes to shop it and 5 minutes to check out and bag. So I spent the same amount of time on it for less miles and made almost twice the amount of money, right? So the shop and pays, if you know your stores, you have control of how fast you can find things, and the cash flow is better. I mean, time is money, right? So I think that's a great point you bring up, and I appreciate you saying that. So thank you.
And I here lately, every so often, especially when it's kind of dead, I'll kind of like walk in my local Winn-Dixie, kind of like look around and have a look-see. And, it's just getting familiar with your item, with your, but one issue is I went to the Winn-Dixie and I had this item, and, you check for expiration dates, and oh my gosh, I finally found something that was like, not within date, but a lot of stuff I'm looking at it, I'm like, I can't give the customer that. And now chances are they might look at the expiration date and be like, what the hell?
Yeah. It's funny you said that. Before I let you go, I tried to shop. I was at a local chain called Schnucks in Missouri, in St. Louis, right? And right. I tried to buy something, and this was for a personal shop for me. It wasn't on the app, But when I scanned it, it was like on a clearance rack. When I scanned it, it wouldn't even let me buy it because it was out of date. It was like some fruit snacks or something, and it was the expiration date had passed. So some places have that as a fail safe. But yeah, listen, check your eggs, check your milk, like check those dates, you know. And if it's on the 15th of the month and you're trying to buy milk and it expires on the 16th or 17th, grab another milk. Don't give somebody a milk that expires in a day or two, right? I mean, we got to be kind in that way, right? And smart. So, Kevin, I appreciate you for coming on, man. Always a pleasure. I'm gonna get to the next guest. Have a good night, brother.
You too.
All right, we're gonna wrap up the show with I see no giggity, no clout. I see Chris Boy from across the pond, and I see Bud Soda. So, and I also see, hold on, I think there's one other person down below. Okay, I'm gonna bring in no giggity, no clout. I'm gonna bring the three of you guys on at the same time, because I want to round out the show with you guys. I'm gonna start with no giggity, no clout, Chris, and we'll go to Bud Soda, and you guys give me your perspective. Tell me what you think about this and whatever else you got in your mind. So let's bring these guys up at the same time. First, we got my man, no giggity, no clout. What's up, man? How you doing? Uh-oh, you're muted. Unmute.
What's good, homie?
Now we're good. What's up, man? How you doing, brother?
Doing, bro. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. All right, let me bring in my boy, Chris. Chris, what's up, man?
G'day, Pedro. How are you, mate?
Always a pleasure. I'm fantastic. And then, is Bud Soda, is he ready? Give me a thumbs up, Bud Soda. Okay, there he is. All right, so Bud Soda, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, out working like usual.
I see that. All right, let me start with my man, no giggity, no clout. What do you got on your mind about these apps lowering the base pay? What do you think about it? And give me some perspective.
I got some notes.
Okay, bring it. I like it.
All right, so, in my market, when the streak and all this stuff started, so my base pay for earn by time, like my pay for the earn by time, it actually lowered. So did that happen to anybody else's market, or was that just mine?
Ooh, good question. I don't know.
Yeah, mine went down $1. So it went from 11.25 to 10.25. Normally that would happen in nighttime, but now it's all the time.
Interesting.
So my what happened with not my earn by time, but I guess you could call it a decrease in earn by time, because all the peak pays on all the military bases seem to decrease. Not just mine, but I'm I'm reading it all across Facebook and stuff. Like, I screenshots of it. They used to be $3 or $4. Now they're $1 and $2. And mine's like changes throughout the day instead of being a steady $2 or $3.
Interesting. So they're basically just shifting the money around, right? They're saying that they're giving you a streak, a promo, a peak pay, or an incentive, whatever we want to call it on these apps. And I know Uber does this a lot, but they're just taking the money that you would have got already, and they're calling it a promo, but they're taking some of that promo away from you. So if they're saying they're going to give you an extra $5, really it's only an extra $3 because they took $2 away somewhere else, right? Definitely crazy, man. I know Uber does that a lot. I've seen it with Uber with their promotions and surges, and it's kind of wild to me, because then it doesn't become a promotion or surge. It devalues that, right? That's how I look at it, at least. Chris, what about you? I know you've had some crazy changes in Australia, I feel like the last month or so, right?
We have.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So one, I just want to say, first and foremost, $1 per delivery on a stack. That's abysmal, guys. Like, what are you doing over there?
That's crazy. That's crazy,
ridiculous. Right? I was just looking at it. I was like, I'm outside the looking glass, like looking in, and I was like, what the fuck is going over in America? Because I look at you guys first, because like what happens there generally 6 months later starts to move across here. So we're down to, I think our most recent changes was $6 for 2 stacked. So that was a drop down, which is about what are we looking at there? About $3 American, something around that point. So we're seeing that reduction around it, and I guess aside from that, like, we have got so much legislation trying to push through right now. Our government is trying to change it for gig economy, calling us gig-like as an employee status. So that's a new one for us. And as a response now, Uber Eats, DoorDash, they're sending out to us as drivers emails saying, hey, here is a template to put your name on and send it across to all your members of parliament. So they're running out of options over here because they're losing that fight. Because Uber Eats just came forward just the other day, and their spokespeople said, well, if this legislation goes through and you guys all get paid a wage, essentially, which is the push, we need to raise cost for food for customers by 65% minimum, and 65% minimum increase for the cost of food via the apps, which are already raised up at this point.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, man. And aside from that,
Yeah,
they've also, and this is like the crux. This is where I'm like worried. They've turned around and said, cool, if this does go through as well, aside from the increase to cost, we now need to move down the pathway of where are our valuable areas, which is the cities. Regional areas may be decommissioned. So they might need to cut that loss they're having on regional areas, shut it all down, and just focus on the cities in Australia, which is opportunity loss for tens of thousands of drivers.
And I'm glad you said that, because that's the first thing I thought of, Chris, was, well, damn, that takes away opportunity for those people in those areas.
Yeah, what
and
are they gonna do?
that sucks. I mean, that's ridiculous, Hey, Matt, let me ask you. So tomorrow, I want to get your perspective on this. So tomorrow, you wake up and base pay is 50 cents. Are you working for DoorDash tomorrow?
100%.
Tell us why.
Because at the end of the day, we're going to look at the total number that's being paid out. So some of us don't have any other app other than DoorDash. I've been on wait lists for multiple apps, like whether it's Spark, whether it's Uber, whether it's Grubhub, whether it's whatever it is. Some like in my market, I don't have Flex, I don't have Roadie, I don't have Curry, all that stuff. We don't have none of that. DoorDash owns my market. I know people that have Uber, and they'll turn it on and they might see 4 offers that day, and then they may not even hear their phone go off for another 2 more days. Grubhub, same thing. I mean, it's at the end of the day, we're looking at the total payout, miles to money. So I mean, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. You just don't take the offer.
That's a good point. I don't disagree with that. Bud Soda, tomorrow, I think you put I can't remember if you put, I think you put a 1 in the chat. So tomorrow, DoorDash base pays 50 cents, or let's say the base pays nothing. And they say, hey, we're going to show you offers. And if a customer tipped, you're going to keep that. And if they didn't, it's going to say 0. And you're going to have to maybe get a cash tip, right? Let's say the app would say that. I wouldn't be surprised if anything, So what is Bud Soda going to do? Are you going to
become an extreme cherry picker and only hit it when it says dash now or schedule ahead? Like I used to work back in the day. I'll revert back to extreme cherry picker. None of these programs be worth working. None of these streaks would be worth doing. In my market, they tried to take away miles pay once. I used it to my advantage, but they bought it back like within 2 weeks. Like orders weren't getting done, drivers weren't coming out, and they got like an extreme amount of customer complaints. So they think this is going to fly in my area. Heck no, it won't. Now, I know there's areas like where I know Nug's been deactivated, but like Akron, now people will sit there and take $2 for 10 miles in that area. He has proven that more than once. Like he did videos on it. So there's people who will do that, but what I think ultimately they're trying to do is push people to earn by time. They're trying to push for earn by time. Yes, they do lock it out when the system sees that, majority orders are decent tips to high tips. So like $3 plus. So like a suggested tip on most orders is $3 plus, or at least $2.50 for a really small order. And they tack on extra fees when it's small. I had an Uber Eats today where someone ordered 1 liter of water, and they lived 7 miles from the 7-Eleven. It's like, are you crazy? I canceled that right away when I saw it, and I had to bet on which one it was because Uber doesn't tell you address information, and I picked right. And I only took it because the other order was going somewhere I wanted to go.
Let me ask Chris a question. So, Chris, do you think some point, because I know in Australia you guys didn't have, the tipping culture is different, the way the apps work are different, right? So things have just recently changed for you in that regard, from what I understand, right?
Yeah.
But would you? I mean, have you guys? Obviously, they were paying you more to compensate for the cultural difference, right, and how everything's set up. But do you think drivers should? Do you think consumers, like, should everything just be flipped? Should it, in America, should we just be doing? Are we doing things wrong? Is it caught up to us? Like, what's your perspective as somebody in Australia? Like, is the tipping getting out of hand here based on what you've seen or maybe heard? And how can you reflect that to what you guys live in Australia?
So this is going to be a very hot take. I'm outside the looking glass looking in. So put it this way, in the last probably 200 DoorDash deliveries, I've only had one tip, and that was for $1. The customers bear the brunt, I guess, of the delivery costs over here. But the company as well is, even though they're charging their margins to the restaurant, they're charging their delivery fees, charging a 12% service fee now over here on top of everything. The companies are taking that out of their coffers. So I think, hot take, I think it's unfortunate that you guys are wrapped up in tipping culture because you just rely on tips. And I guess if you kind of step back to where I'm looking right now, looking in, you guys aren't working for DoorDash. You guys are working for customer gratuity at this point. You're getting paid $1 a delivery on Stacked. That's not being paid by a company. You guys are relying on customers to tip. It's gratuity only. And that needs to be flipped. If the customers paid more but didn't leave gratuity or left less gratuity, the majority would be better off. But the culture is kind of set over there to leave gratuity, and the companies know this, and they, like, fuck, dude, they rip you guys off. That's all it comes down to. They are ripping you off something fierce.
Chris, I really like you, but I got to vehemently disagree. We just, like, maybe you missed this show. The whole point of these apps is supposedly to hook merchants and clients to us drivers. So that's what they're supposed to be, just a middleman, and the base pays here. Thanks for using our app. So even if they cut it to 50 cents, the point is that it's based on what the client is providing us. And we can't accurately
what if the client in America was providing us more because they had to, like in Australia, with more of a fee or more of a percentage or whatever they wanted to call it? Then the money is still, maybe it's not called a tip. It's called a fee or a bid or whatever word they want to use, and the money is still coming from the consumer, right?
So I think all these apps should put bid for service. Like, my app is much more in your face about the fees and stuff, and I have people go, "Oh my God, the fees are crazy." I'm like, if it's not McDonald's or Taco Bell and you live further away, and it's like an actual sit-down joint, like, or one of my nice local joints, I blow them out of the water for the most part, or I'm like right on par, because I've seen some of these Grubhub offers that go to Philadelphia for $6 for 11 miles because the customer pulled the tip because they're charging them a high base fee for the mileage. So, and my app charges even more than Grubhub does, but our food cost is way cheaper. But if you order Taco Bell off my app and you live 15 miles away, you're going to pay $15 base pay. And that's like one of the problems I have is people order Chipotle instead of from my local Mexican joint, which we want them to, and they complain about the fee. So that's a hurdle I have to overcome and explain why does it cost me $40 with, pulling, not even tipping, $40 just for a couple things and the delivery fee to get Chipotle. I'm like, it's because that Chipotle is there just to be there. It's more meant for us city customers and for catering customers, when we deliver to the hospitals and stuff. And then, like, we want you to order from the local one. We're trying to dissuade you from doing that, like how DoorDash and Uber and Grubhub tack on small order fees. So we're just more in your face with the fees than anything. And DoorDash just dropped like all the delivery fees to 50 cents. I looked at my consumer, it's 50 cents. But they're better at hiding the cost than we are. Like, ours is just straight percentage on the food, and then it's delivery fee, which all goes to the driver.
But
and we
like,
had to drop it down to $3.50.
Is there a difference between, and yeah, once again, man, like you too, of course. But is there a difference for you as a driver if the customer's paying $10 on a service fee and delivery fees or whatever it is versus 50 cents and a $9.50?
Oh yeah.
Is there a difference?
Yes, Chris, because I've had a lot of my drivers say, I don't even want this because they get Chipotle or Five Guys versus the local burger joint over here or our local Mexican restaurant. So Wayback Burgers isn't on yet, so it's going to be a little harder. So they want a premium burger place. And
yeah,
my drivers don't want it. I don't want it. There's no tip. No tip, no trip. That's a big mentality here. You can't get rid of that tip culture out of it. I have a very opposite mindset where I stack, I do a reverse stack. It's what I call it. And I can make that crap work. But it's very difficult to get other drivers to understand that. And then for the customer side, I'm already paying $15. Why should I tip you?
I guess
Let me get Matt in. Matt, give us some perspective, Matt, on this. What's your thoughts? Tipping, should it go away? Should it be more like Australia, where it's more like, okay, the customer is still going to pay, but there's not this pressure of a tip, and I'm not worried about where the money's coming from? What do you say to that?
Like I said, at the end of the day, I think eventually it could go even farther down than $2. I think eventually it's going to where it'll be majority of your money will be tips after it's all said and done. Like you said earlier, what'd you say earlier? You said 50 cents. It could, if it went down to 50 cents. I saw somebody in the chat earlier. They said under independent contract laws, they could go clear down to a penny.
Yeah, they can.
I mean, let's just be honest. So at the end of the day, I mean, if the money with the tip and everything else makes sense, if they tip $10 and it's 4 miles, is it really any different if it was still $10 10 days ago with the base pay difference? It's not. Now gas prices do suck. But I will say this: gas prices are going down in my area. So I mean, I don't know about everywhere else, but like I said,
what are you paying right now, Matt? What are you paying for a gas?
At my Sam's Club, I'm paying $2.94.
Oh, that's pretty good. Good.
What?
Damn.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I wish.
What do you pay, Bud Soda? Real quick, what do you pay?
My cheapest it's been is $3.67 for the member price. The average is $3.80 to $4 in this area, and if I go up north, it's $4 to $4.25 a gallon.
Chris, what about you? What's gas in Australia?
I had to convert it across to American a while ago. We're a bit over $5 a gallon right now. So you guys are cheering in comparison.
That's cheap for any other Western country, because Britain, France, all them are usually around 8 to 12 per gallon.
Well, I think, but in Australia, Chris, do people per capita or whatever word I want to use, are there as many automobiles in Australia or not?
We are one of the highest energy consumers. We outpace you guys in energy consumption in Australia. We've got, people have got at least one car, maybe 2 cars over in Australia. We chug fuel. Our public transport's not as good as you guys, so we are incredibly energy efficient over here.
You're actually similar to us because everything's spread out.
Yeah, so it's almost like those prices he's paying is almost like the West Coast prices, like a big city in America, kind of, because West Coast is up to like almost $6, I think, like in California and all that. Yeah, that's crazy. I see that. Is that on the DoorDash app, Matt?
Yeah.
It tells you for the cheapest station you're within a mile of, I believe.
Yeah, I'm paying $3.40 right now.
Like the next one closest to it is 7-Eleven. It's like right down the street. It's $3.25. So look at the price difference just from one. Having that.
The problem is it'll say like the Millstar price that only the military can have that credit card, or the member price or the cash price. It won't say the actual price what you pay if it was credit card. I think that's a little deceiving.
So I'll start off with Matt, go to Chris, and then go to Bud Soda. Just some final thoughts. Anything else you guys want to share? Plus, if you want to plug a channel or what you guys got going on coming up on a channel, please feel free to do that now. I'll start with Matt first.
No getting in the clout. You guys already know my channel. I started a podcast with Hector. Most of you guys know Hector. We're nobody's favorite podcast. We go live every Friday. we talk gig work. We talk a lot of different stuff. Basically, what it is it's almost a spinoff of Pedro and Hannibal. They are kind of like the ones that influenced us to do what we do. If you really,
I didn't know that, man. That's very humbling to hear. But that's awesome.
Cool. So when him and I linked together, it really gave us the vibes of like you guys, because like you said the other day when we were in the chat, you know, Hector comes off as you for the most part, and I come off as Hannibal. You know,
Hannibal. I noticed that. I was watching and listening, and I definitely noticed that. We got to talk off here. I think the four of us should do.
You're good. Yeah.
No. The four of us should do a little something. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, we were actually talking about, because like on one of your episodes, you guys were talking about the Halloween thing. Like Hannibal said he was going to put the sheet on and all that stuff. Whatever. Yeah. But anyways, I told Hector, I said, we should dress up as Pedro and Hannibal on our podcast. And dude, that would be so funny. And it was like, he's like, how are you going to be Hannibal? And I was like, okay, touche, you got me.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that would be different. But I mean, listen, the four of us can definitely figure something out. Have you guys on, or vice versa. I think that would be great.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely go check out those channels. Chris, some final thoughts, and what do you got going on over there, man?
Yeah, sure. So just my YouTube channel, Chris Boy. I do gig driving over in Australia. If you want to see the other side of the pond, tune in, of course. I've always got videos coming out at least once a week. I think just a final thought from myself across the entire segment. I just want to do a bit of a parable across to the gig community versus Sylvester Stallone, an actor that I think we all know. So before the Rocky movie, Sylvester Stallone had $100 in his pocket, and he was at rock bottom, destitute. He had nothing left. He couldn't provide for his family, trying to figure out how to make ends meet. And he hit a point even where he had a dog, and he sold it for $25 outside of a liquor store because he couldn't afford food for himself, let alone food for the dog. And then after that, he turned around and said, I need to change something in my life. And he started writing down a script for a movie. And that was the first Rocky movie. The first Rocky movie he wrote in 3.5 days. He sat there. He said, I've got nothing else happening. He wrote the script, took it to a film agency, and they offered him $125,000 back in the 1970s.
So that's basically $1 million. They offered him $1 million.
$1 million. Yeah. And he said, yes, but I have one contingency. If I can be the main actor in the movie. And they said, no. They said, we want someone from real Hollywood coming into this movie. And he said, no. And then a week later, they came back and they offered him $250,000. So $2 million back in the 70s equivalent. They said, but we want a real actor from Hollywood, not yourself. And he said no again. A little bit of time passed, and then he got an offer come through for $35,000. But he could be the main actor in the Rocky movie. And so he betted on himself, to use your words, Pedro. Betted on himself. Old Sly there did. And yeah, they filmed the movie, and we know how Rocky turned out from there. But he had that perspective to bet on himself long term. He knew what his worth was, and he wasn't afraid to knock back the offers for the short term, knowing in the long term there's something better coming through. And I think for us as gig delivery drivers, we may get an offer, short term, like there's nothing else, regardless of the dire straits that you're in. Don't accept it. Know your worth for the long term. That's my final words.
I love that, and I'm a big Rocky fan. I like Rocky 2. And Sylvester Stallone's definitely super underrated. But yeah, that's a great story. A lot of people don't know that about him, and appreciate that perspective, man. Thank you. And we'll talk on Tuesday. So I'll send you that link.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll talk Tuesday. Bud Soto, final thoughts. Round it out.
Okay, so my channel Tuesday as well. I'll be making a video on my last 4 weeks of earnings, since people seem to think I'm a little inconsistent on what I earn, because I am a little all over the board on what I earn per day. And I'm going to cut back on the vlogs. I can't force it, because my last few, I felt a little forced on trying to just say something. So I'm probably just going to change that to once a week. I am starting to plan on doing a couple more live streams here and there, but they're going to be spontaneous, not planned. And I hope you guys will enjoy what I've got coming. As far as my app, it's still growing. I got a new customer right now. And as far as connections go, make partnerships, make friendly. buying some cheap leftover holiday candy is a great way to build a relationship with your restaurant that you show you appreciate them. It's also a tax write-off. So to show a little gratitude and to help build relationships, that's kind of how I started with it. Like, and I'm always thankful. I'm very patient. And, you know, I heard of I can't remember who it was earlier, Cowboy Curly, was it? Like, I get it. We all get impatient. But at the same time, you know, you got to show these guys some respect. So hopefully, if you guys can understand that and work around everything you're doing and adapt and shop and catering and last mile, like that response video I made. Thank you, Pedro. So I think it's a really, really good one. So go check out that 10 more apps that you can do, you guys. And definitely think outside the box. Don't rely on DoorDash because look what they're doing.
Yep, definitely have some more options if they're available to you. Matt, Chris, Bud Soda, I appreciate you gentlemen very much. We'll talk soon. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday, and thanks for coming on. Thank you guys.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for your time, Pedro.
Take care. Bye.
All right, love it, love it, love it. Great show tonight, guys. I appreciate all the new people that came up. We had 3 or 4 new people that hadn't been on. I love having a fresh perspective. Appreciate all the OGs for coming on. Listen, know your worth, guys. You know, the base pay, I think Matt, no giggity, no clout, said it really well. Hey, if the money's there, I'm gonna take it. If it's 50-cent base pay tomorrow or $2 on stacks, as long as the money's right, I'm gonna take it. And I do agree with that. I don't like that these apps are lowering the base pay. We have to understand why they're doing it though. A lot of them are telling us they're struggling, they're not making money, they're not paying their shareholders, things are bad. So they're going to cut their labor costs. And the way to do that is to pay us less on the base pay. It is what it is, but know your worth. Stay selective when you can. Be willing to adapt strategies. And hey, just because you don't take a $5 at 11 a.m. doesn't mean that $5 order it's not still bad at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. slow in your market. $5 is better than no dollars as long as it's profitable money. You guys are absolutely fantastic. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to end this live. Appreciate everybody for watching. If you're watching on the replay, let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys next Sunday.